Are you confused on how to use essential oils? With this recipe, you'll learn how to make your own fun hand soap with essential oils. Let's make this Swirled Heart Soap so that you can use essential oils with confidence and clarity to make your own soaps. With this recipe, you'll go from confused and overwhelmed at using essential oils to using them with confidence and clarity. Hi, I'm Katie Veldkamp, co-founder of Simply Earth, and I love teaching people how to use essential oils. Turn off distractions, making is healing. Let's get ready to get started. To make this recipe, you will need some melt and pour soap base, a little heart mold, some fuchsia mica powder, rubbing alcohol. You'll need about 1/4 teaspoon in a little bowl, and it's helpful to have some in a spray bottle. You'll also need some Simply Earth essential oils, cardamom, fennel, ginger, and love. You'll get all this minus the rubbing alcohol in the Simply Earth essential oil recipe box. My first step is to add a little bit of mica powder to rubbing alcohol. This is going to help disperse the mica powder so that it evenly mixes into our soap. I've got a little stir rod here that I'm going to stir it with so the mica is evenly dispersed throughout the rubbing alcohol. You just need a little bit of rubbing alcohol, about 1/4 teaspoon, just to get the mica powder into a fluid state. Now I can set this aside and I'll come back to it later. My next step is going to be melting our soap base. For this, we're going to be using 4 cubes out of our soap tray in the Simply Earth recipe box. With our soap, we want to make sure that we break it into those 4 cubes to help it melt evenly. So I'm going to break it into chunks to help it evenly melt. Then I'm going to either melt this on a double boiler, which is a gentler way of melting it and gives you more control over it. It's going to be easier for you to just melt it. Or I can do this in the microwave using short intervals, stirring in between, so that the soap just melts and it doesn't overheat and get scorched. So I've got my soap base so that it is just melted. I'm now going to add the essential oils. The essential oils are going to get diluted into the soap and create a really nice romantic aroma, perfect for Valentine's Day. I'm going to be using 3 drops of fennel, 5 drops of cardamom, 2 drops of ginger, and 3 drops of love. Now I'm going to stir the essential oils until they're evenly diluted into the soap. Now I'm going to divide my soap into 2 containers. It's helpful if the second container has a pouring spout because we are going to be pouring the soap. And I'm going to be pouring about half of this soap into this container. If your soap starts thickening up and starting to solidify, you can remelt the soap. Melt and pour soap can be remelted over and over again. To one of my containers, I'm going to add this pink mica powder that we put in this rubbing alcohol. It's going to turn it a pretty pink color. If you want it to be a darker pink, you can just add a little bit more mica powder to your rubbing alcohol to make a bright and more vibrant pink. Our next step is to pour both of these soap mixtures into this heart mold. If I pour them both while both soaps are quite hot, the color is just going to mush together and it'll turn into a light pink heart. So what I want to do is let these harden slightly or cool down slightly until they're a little bit thicker, like so, which is around 135 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to pour each of these soap mixtures into my mold on either side. And then I'm going to go with my hands a little bit to create a swirl into the heart. You can see my soap has started to thicken up and kind of made these trace lines on it. That's fine. All right, once you have your soap poured, the next step is optional, but something that's nice to do. If you look at my soap, you'll notice that there are some bubbles that formed. I can spray it with rubbing alcohol, and what that's going to do is briefly dissolve the surface of my soap so it can pop those bubbles. The only step left is to let it totally solidify. It's going to solidify from the outside in. So don't take it out of the mold too soon because it could be hard around the edges but still liquid in the middle. Wait an hour or 4 hours until the soap is totally hardened before you remove it from the mold. I love seeing your creations, so when you make this, please share a picture on social media and tag From Simply Earth with hashtag I made this. Use the February Simply Earth Essential Oil Restor Box to master using essential oils to make your own soap product. You'll love using essential oils with confidence and clarity.